Welcome, one and all, to the Hurdle Podcast. We are back, baby. A little small right now. A little small, a little small. Hey, there we are. We're back in person. We're back in Bozeman. It's good to be back. It's very nice to be back. We enjoy doing the Zooms here and there, but it's way better in person. You get more instant reaction, not as delayed, and I think better quality. So, but yeah, we're going a wild card breakdown for today. Reaction. Yeah. Bailey's been
we bringing this energy to
Bailey's been
bringing this energy.
Bailey's been looking forward to this one for a while. I think everyone that watches the channel is probably excited to hear my opinion on one game in particular, but that one's down the road a little bit. But yeah, before we get started, I want to thank our sponsor, SeatGeek, guys. If you're looking for tickets to anything, like me and Nick are looking for tickets to the Morgan Wallen concert in May. Or if you're looking to sneak in an MSU basketball game or anything, if I don't know who else is coming to Bozeman for a concert. Jenny Chesney's coming in the summer. Use code Hurdle Podcast on SeatGeek. Get $20 off your first purchase. Not only helps us, helps you guys get $20 off your order. So thanks to SeatGeek. Best ticket app. Easy. Best ticket app.
Yeah, for sure. Link is in the description.
Yeah. But yeah, let's just get to these games. We kind of, I think the games had a lot of hype going into them other than the 2-7 matchups, and really only two of those delivered that were not the 2-7 matchups. One of them being Raiders Bengals. Raiders win 26-19. So they advance, and they just had to await the game on right after pretty much to see who they would be playing. Most likely, I mean, really, both these quarterbacks played pretty good. I know Derek Carr threw it like 54 times and had the pick, but he had 310 yards and a touchdown. That's a pretty typical Derek Carr game. Burrow was consistent. He made his throws, made throws on the run. He looked really good. I mean, what's scary is I think the Bengals did just enough to win this game, and they didn't even reach their full potential, especially offensively.
Yeah. Everyone's going to talk about the reffing in this game. I know the crew,
every game pretty much.
Everyone was talking about it. I mean, I know the crew is banned for the rest of the postseason, so they're out of a job for the next 3 to 4 weeks. But I thought this was a great game. It was super entertaining to watch. Yeah. Carr was fairly good, I think I could say. He was very good for the first, 54 minutes, I think. And then the last 6 minutes when the Raiders gave him another opportunity, I thought once the Bengals got the ball back with 2:30 left in the game, I thought it was over.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to get a first and the game would be over. But then the Raiders defense came up with another stop, came down to really the final play of the game. And you take the curl route that's double teamed, that's short of the goal line on fourth. A little bit of a questionable decision. That was the pick he had. But he had to do as much as he could to even get him back.
He had to throw it to the end zone because it was fourth and goal.
Yeah. But he played all right. I thought Burrow played very well. His connection with Chase is it's stupid.
I know, we were talking all at the end of the draft, why do you not take the tackle to submit, to protect your franchise? You just did a number one pick for a quarterback, which is later in the week. Next week, mock draft video possibly.
Yeah.
But I think we both agree, a team like Jacksonville with the one pick, maybe take your tackle to make sure your investment in the back stays healthy. And with Burrow's injury history, that's also one of those concerns. But they said, you know what, we're just going to give him another weapon. As if we didn't have already good receivers, we're going to give him another one. His college teammate, and
he's been dominant.
They have not missed a beat. It's insane to watch because, I mean, you see, you always see, eventually people, meet up really quick. These guys were pretty much a year apart. I mean, two. Jamar didn't.
Two redshirt?
Yeah, okay, so I think two. But I was thinking the year last year when he didn't play. But Joe wasn't there. So, but yeah, I think the connection's insane. It's crazy how long it stays. Give props to the Raiders. They shouldn't have really, after all their stuff, been in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They clawed their way in. They gave a great effort. I think if they had maybe anyone else besides Cincy, they maybe squeak out a win. If it's I don't know, not Buffalo, but
I honestly think Cincy was in Pittsburgh, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But I honestly thought Cincy was their best shot at winning because I don't think they can compete with the Bills or Chiefs if they get any of those higher seeds. But I think what really helped the Bengals win this game is getting out to a quick start because Jacobs only had 13 carries in this game because they were playing from behind. The Bengals got to determine the game script. They were winning the entirety of the game. And that really helped them in the long run because, I mean, when you're playing with the lead the whole time and you know what the other team really has to do, and that's play quick, fast, and move the ball up the field. And you got to do that through the air, which showed through the numbers with Derek Carr's insane amount of passing, 54 passing attempts.
I think maybe the biggest surprise was that Josh Jacobs only touched the ball 13 times. I know they were down most of this game, but I mean, he was racking off runs last week against the Chargers.
Had a couple big ones this week.
And had really big ones this week. And I felt like maybe they should have just got him the ball more. Maybe on that later drive, I know they had like 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
I get not handing it off as much on that drive, but earlier in the game, like they started this game like down 7 at the half. I don't get how you don't come out in this third quarter and just try to pound because Cincinnati's run defense is nothing to write home about. And I thought that was the one matchup that really could favor the Raiders, and they didn't exploit it very well, I thought. But congrats, Cincy, 31 years in the making. They can finally text that they won a Super Bowl because last time, I won a playoff game. Because last time that happened, that wasn't a thing. So it's kind of cool to say. But yeah, I'm very happy Cincy won. I think next week we'll get into the matchup, but
we can talk about the call. I know that was a big talk controversy. I'll give my take on it.
Yeah.
Here's my take. I understand why they're getting banned from the rest of the playoffs.
Because it was pretty bonehead.
What I don't understand about the play is Burrow goes out to the right sideline. Doesn't step out of bounds. He's off by about 2 feet?
I would say maybe a whole yard, you could say. Yeah. He was not very close.
2-3 feet. Chucks it up. Clearly not out of bounds. But halfway while the ball's in the air, he makes the late call to blow the whistle. And then players just stop moving except for Tyler Boyd, who's getting the ball thrown to him and he scores a touchdown. I understand the frustration from Vegas fans because the correct ruling of that is a replay of down. Exactly. But there shouldn't have been a whistle in the first place. I understand if there isn't a whistle, maybe was it Levitt that was playing safety on that play? Maybe he makes a play on it and bats it down. But Boyd was kind of open for the
majority of that play. Once he threw it, he was wide open.
Yeah, once Burrow started to roll out and chucked it, he started to get a little more separation. I thought I was okay with the touchdown call. I know it's against the rules, but I honestly thought the Bengals deserved that touchdown, in my opinion. Do you have any?
No, I just think officiating, like we saw a few years ago with the Jags and Patriots, blowing plays early because Jacksonville had a fumble recovery for a touchdown, but the play got called early. That doesn't get called. Jacksonville knocks off the Patriots and is in the Super Bowl against Philly. It's just as simple as that. You just got to let it play through. There's a reason there's replay. Yeah. Every scoring play is reviewed. Let it happen. I get like, oh, there could be injury or whatever. Like it doesn't, like they review everything today. So
I think they did the right thing there by calling the touchdown and then going to review, but I don't think an insufficient whistle is overturnable. So I don't know. Maybe it is.
It might be, but I mean, rules are there for a reason. The league should have been calling them down and being like, hey, we got to replay that down. I don't care if they scored. Yeah. That's more like, I get why the officials aren't calling games because that was just a bonehead call, or whistle, you could say. But I mean, it's on the league. Like they have guys that are there that can be like, no, this is the rule. Like even like Gene Steratore was on it wasn't Gene. I can't remember who it was, but the like rules expert on the TV was like, yeah, that definitely should have just been a replay of downs. And when people like that know that, but the league doesn't, that's sad. It really is.
Like Casey Hayward called a timeout while the play was like right when the snap hit.
Like they just meant like
a 25-yard gain, but then they call the play back even though they run the play all the way through.
See, and I'm okay with that. I'm like, if you're like, you should call the timeout, but at least they went back and
you don't run the play. You don't run the play though. Like,
well, yeah, but I mean, They did the right thing. They replayed the down.
They replayed the down.
They gave him the timeout. So that's, officiating is going to be the theme in a lot of this, but it's been the whole year. So what are you going to do?
It was a great game. Though.
Yeah.
Tough to see it. The headline being the officiating crew, but like Burrow played well. Chase played fantastic. Bengals defense stepped up when they had to. And that's really all they got to do throughout the entire playoffs is just let this offense cook. And if they're not cooking, then maybe they have to force themselves to make one or two big plays.
Yeah, and they did at the end of the game. Yeah. They made the play at the end. That's what won them the game. Saturday night capper. Not much of a contest. Buffalo, New England. Buffalo advances 47-17. We both said the Bills would win. Not by this much. Josh Allen had, I think, the best game of his career. 4 incompletions. That's it. 308, 5 touchdowns.
And like 50-some rushing yards.
Yeah, he had 66 rushing yards on 6 carries. I'm telling y'all right now, this Bills team's dangerous, and here's why. They took a Bill Belichick defense and just torched them. New England had no way of stopping it. Josh Allen played a great game, wasn't sacked. Singletary was getting the ball at high volume like he has the past few weeks, and it's been paying off for them, especially now in the playoff run. He had 2 touchdowns as well. Mac Jones didn't look terrible for his first playoff game. The 2 picks aren't great, but
the Hyde pick was insane. The Micah Hyde pick on the first drive, that was super underrated. Like how he played that. I thought
he ball hawked it. I thought
it was a touchdown at first.
It looked like a touchdown.
And I saw Hyde get up and start celebrating. I'm like, what's going on? And it was just the way he read that ball, the trajectory. It was very impressive.
Yeah, I mean,
that strips away a New England touchdown early on.
That's all the momentum. That's a momentum shift.
As a statement bounce back drive. So, yeah.
I think the most impressive thing, Buffalo scored on 7 touchdown drives the first 7 times, and then their last possession was a kneel down to end the game. But New England just had no response. Kendrick Bourne had a huge game for the Pats, 7 for 77 and 2 touchdowns. But, yeah, I mean, Mac Jones, it's a learning experience in those conditions, playing that team. He didn't look terrible, but if I'm New England, you've got to start figuring it out because the Bills are starting to run away with this division. Miami could be up and coming. The Jets are the Jets. So if you're not careful, you could be 3rd in this division after being champs pretty much the whole dang time since you drafted Brady. So, but I mean, hey, Buffalo looks nasty.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the next round because we know who they play. Yeah. I mean, you guys do too, but yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, I think the key establishment for this Buffalo team, period, has been getting Devin Singletary rolling. I've been saying the past couple of weeks, he's the key to this offense that just takes them to the next level. If you get a run game in the playoffs, you're immediately a dangerous team because you have the ability to chew clock. Buffalo didn't chew clock this game. Like you said,
need to.
No, 7 touchdowns, 8 possessions. That's just absolutely unheard of. Their punter made their debut, didn't have to punt a single ball.
That's what's insane. The guy gets ready for his NFL debut. He's probably hyped. He probably got his family flown out or whatever. Didn't see the field.
No.
They just saw him warming up on the sideline. That's about it. On the occasional 3rd down, he would be out there stretching, getting ready, and then.
I agree with you. Jones didn't look horrible. He didn't look great. It was a fairly average game. It's kind of what I expected from Jones as a rookie quarterback. 2 picks isn't really nothing to be shocked about, especially when Buffalo's number 1 against the pass and you're playing catch up all game long,
entire game,
literally from start to finish.
And that's not what New England's built on. They're built on running the ball, controlling the clock. And once they got down early on like those 3 touchdowns, they had to start throwing the ball.
That's how you beat the running teams. That's how Cincy beat Vegas. And that's how Buffalo absolutely crushed New England here is you jump out on them early, get a couple stops, go up 21-0. It's basically a wrap from there because they're out of their whole charisma and their style of play. Yeah, I agree with you. Jones didn't look terrible. What was super surprising to me was not only how dominant Buffalo was all the way around, like New England's defense was just on the field so much in this game. Literally, it felt like the entire.
What was the time of possession? Because it had to be.
It was something.
New England just the offense would go 3 and out almost every drive and punt it right back to them. I mean, New England was gasping for air in those very cold conditions.
It was 32-28.
That's not terrible,
It
but
wasn't as bad as I thought, but like it felt like they were on defense the entire game. And it's probably just because of how fast Buffalo was scoring, and they were scoring like 5-6 plays on almost every single possession. It's really ridiculous. Josh Allen played, the best game of his career. He played perfect. Like there's no other way to put it. Even the bad things went well. The first touchdown pass to Knox, you're like, what is he doing? Knox goes up, gets it, hauls it in.
puts in literally where only his tight end could go.
Exactly. Gabe Davis has really stepped up to the plate. Even guys like Isaiah McKenzie, who we thought were going to be no-shows in this
and like
offense.
maybe special teams at best, like returners.
Like he's stepping up big time. But I think the big thing is just Singletary evolving this offense, give it another dimension. Because I think they had like 130 rushing yards this game between Allen and Singletary. So what an absolute dominant performance from Buffalo.
I think what's crazy too in this game, it's like they demolished the Patriots and Diggs didn't do a ton.
Yeah.
He didn't score. I mean, he had, I think, near 60, 70 yards, but nothing crazy out of a Stephon Diggs. Because I'm not going to lie, I feel like he's saving it for this week because
big game.
A little bit of bad blood. We'll say it at that. But we'll go. You want to go in order? Yeah.
Like last time.
So Sunday, the Bucks, Eagles. Again, not much of a contest because it's Philadelphia in a playoff game because they deserve a playoff spot apparently. Play against Tampa. Tampa wins 31-15. It was pretty much 24-0 this whole entire game, and then Philly outscored Tampa in the fourth because they had to. This just really shows what happens when a Tom Brady team was a young, unexperienced team because they were giving Jalen Hurts fits all day defensively. And then offensively, it's that typical 270 and 2 for Brady. The running game wasn't great. Mike Evans had a great game. I don't want to say career game because he's had insane games, but such a great showing, especially with what shocked me is Slay wasn't following him a lot. Yeah. Slay did not follow him a lot. Slay mainly stayed on the slot receiver.
Because you think of Evans as an outside guy, and I normally think of Slay as an outside corner.
Yeah, and I think they flat got outcoached and outplayed. Nick Sirianni had a terrible offensive scheme, and defensively, again, I don't know how you don't have Darius Slay following Mike Evans this whole game because Darius Slay could shut guys down. You shut Mike Evans down, that offense is Brady and Gronk.
Yep.
And the occasional Scotty Miller. Like it didn't make any sense. Again, it's just kind of like Philly was in the playoffs, I guess. They really didn't get the run game going because again, they were down by so much, but I don't know. I still like a lot of Eagles fans are calling for like Hurts' head. I still think he's a pretty good quarterback. I think he fits this offense. It's just they got to put weapons around him. He couldn't get it to Devontae Smith the whole time.
Yeah.
Because
they didn't scheme toward Devontae
no, they didn't.
Yeah.
It was the Dallas Goedert show, and then they were really throwing in a lot to Quez Watkins all of a sudden again. And Quez Watkins was good maybe 2 games last year. So
against your all-pro rookie that has 900 receiving yards on the year. Not all-pro rookie, but
all rookie
first team probably. That is a Heisman Trophy winner, your first round draft pick, like the guy you want to be your franchise. That's receiver.
Like there's a reason
those have to be his targets.
Yeah, there's a reason you draft a guy so high like that is because you think you make a difference in big games like this, and they just didn't scheme for him. Like they weren't getting him the ball, purely outcoached and outplayed. Not much more you can say than that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the same thing kind of carries over from the Buffalo game. You knock down a running team early by getting up on them, and Tampa was up 31-0 going into the fourth quarter. So I felt bad for Hurts, honestly. Like there was one play where I think who fell on their face. I think it was Jamel Dean, slipped.
Oh, he had that touchdown on the left.
Yeah, on the left-hand side, hit him with the double move. Dean fell flat on his face, and he's rolling out to his left, which sucks because he had to take 2 more steps to get his hips turned. Finally make the throw. Mike Edwards, their free safety, reads it, takes a pick. I'm like,
because it was a touchdown.
It was a wide open tutty. Yeah. It was a touchdown. I'm like, that might spur them back in this game because that would have made it 7-14, I think. or 7-17.
Yeah, it would have been
there.
within reasonable.
It was in the second quarter. So it would probably been 7-17, which would have put it within reach still. But yeah, Tampa really sealed this deal in the third. Their defense played perfect, really. Tristan Wirfs is going to be interesting. That's going to be an interesting storyline.
And then even Ryan Jensen, he got hurt a couple times in the game. They're going in a little beat up.
Yeah, the offense weapon wise is looking extremely beat up. So now that the offensive line is starting to go down, that's a little bit worrisome, especially when it's arguably the best right tackle in the league. Tristan Wirfs. I think he's in a walking boot from what I heard recently. So
I hope he plays. I really hope he does play.
They need him at full health. Like you said, Mike Evans, huge game. He's going to have to. Gronk also played very well. Really the two guys that are going to do damage for Tampa did their damage in this game. They handled business early. Not a shocking win from Tampa here.
Yep. All right. The moment, Bailey, a lot of you have been waiting for.
Let's get into it, Logan. Let's get into it. Hold up. That felt good.
the Dallas Cowboys fall to the San Francisco 49ers 23-17. Again, this is a typical Cowboys game. The score looks really close. Dallas was dominated this entire game. It really was never a contest. Look, I've ranted so much. I'm getting sick and tired of it. But I'll state the obvious. How Mike McCarthy still has a job, I will never know. Everyone's blaming it on the officials, all these Cowboys fans. I'm the realist here. I don't care how bad the officiating was. You can't make bonehead play calls. That's what it comes down to. And you can't have players being boneheads. And yeah, the thing that sucks is I heard it best from Michael Irving, which a little biased, but on First Take, pretty much saying this was the Cowboys' year. They were healthy outside of Michael Gallup. They had
buy your Super Bowl tickets early.
I mean, I went into the year expecting this team to win the division, to make a run in the playoffs, but in typical Dallas fashion, it's in and out, but he was just saying that this is one of the more talented teams that Dallas has had in recent history. And I agree, the weapons are there, the quarterback plays there, the line isn't great, but it's not bad by any means. And the defense is much better than last year. So you look at that, and you're playing a San Francisco team that has a quarterback who half his body's injured and can't throw a ball. So then they just have to get creative and get guys playing random positions like Debo at running back. Couldn't stop him. Couldn't stop Elijah Mitchell. The only bright spot for me in this game for Dallas was Micah Parsons. He gets COVID last week, comes back into this game. You could tell he was out of it, but he was still making plays. Him and Vander Esch really did play well. It's just our all-pro first-team corner, Stephon Diggs. Trayvon. Well, Stephon's still playing, so Trayvon is hot garbage. The picks don't mean anything if you can't defend. And
did he give up a tutty?
I'm sure he did.
I don't remember him giving
Jimmy didn't throw a touchdown, but
he didn't give up a tutty.
Great win for San Francisco, They game planned so well. Kyle Shanahan is a superior coach. And the worst part of it, and then Nick Bosa and Fred Warner get hurt in the fourth quarter. And we still couldn't do anything with that. So their two best defensive players really didn't mean anything in this game because even when they were out, we couldn't do anything still. A disappointing end to say the least. If you follow me on Snapchat, you saw my after the game. That was the clean version. The cleanest I could keep it. Let's say that. I said every word in the dictionary about the clown, Mike McCarthy, the boneheadedness of our quarterback. It sucks too because we're going to be losing probably both our coordinators who really turned the offense around when he got there, and Kellen Moore and Dan Quinn really transformed this defense this year. And of all three of the coaches we're keeping the clown and Mike McCarthy, who can't win in the big moments because he hasn't done it since 2011 when the Packers were loaded. So I don't know. The play call at the end of the game too, that's just bonehead playing calling. I don't know who called it. I pray it wasn't Kellen Moore because I don't think he would do that. I'm sure McCarthy called it for some God only knows reason. Dallas should get all the hate they deserve it. I mean, and then you can get into the officiating. The officiating was good. I'm not gonna lie. The calls were right. Even if you say some of them were all right, let's say we take out half of them. Dallas still had 8 penalties.
And 14 penalties.
In crucial if you take half.
Yeah.
They had 15, so let's say we take half off. There's 8 penalties you have right there. And it's annoying to see because touchdown Tommy. It's just annoying because Dallas fans are like blaming the officials. Sorry, our RA's walked in. We have to have masks on. The officiating was really good. The penalties were in the most clutch moments for the Cowboys. Rather, it was 2 defensive holdings on 2 screens by D linemen.
The offsides.
Randy Gregory's 2 offsides to start this game were the shot in the foot because we had him 3rd and 4, and we're looking good to start the game.
First downs. Yeah, they were both for first.
Yeah, they both ended up being first downs. But
and then the neutral zone infraction, I believe. I forget who that was. I think it was Gilmore or something like that.
Oh, Gallimore.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you're a Cowboys fan, you just gotta live with that at that point. The calls were right. Throwing stuff at the officials is whatever, In my mind, that's showing Jerry Jones that we're not happy. I don't care what you want to say. I mean, throw at the officials, throw at the players. I really don't give 2 shits, honestly. You should be throwing it in that luxury box that Jerry Jones has in that stadium that for some reason faces east to west and has a jumbotron that way too big for punters, especially our punter. So Dallas couldn't come up in the clutch. It's been Dallas for 19 years. Nick's talking about, the Giants suck. Well, he's seen his team win 2 Super Bowls. Jack, the Broncos suck. Broncos have won a Super Bowl in his lifetime. Matt, Seahawks have won a Super Bowl in his lifetime. Our 2 teams have sucked, but at least his team sniffed an NFC championship. I mean, because we got the divisional and Des couldn't catch it. So, yeah, there's a lot more I could say, but I don't want this podcast going for so long. But Zeke looked like hot trash. I know he had a PCL tear. But if you guys have a running back, if Zeke has a PCL tear, don't play him. Just play Pollard because he's just as good, if not better. They really shut down the run game. These stats for Dak look decent, but again, all in the 4th quarter. Typical Cowboys game this year when trailing. Dak's stats look good at the end of the game. Doesn't translate to a damn win. No one could catch the ball. CeeDee Lamb couldn't catch anything. Amari Cooper caught 1 touchdown pass. Dalton Schultz kept getting open. That was a bright spot. He's really emerging at tight end. I hope we can keep him around because, we don't have money. So Gallup's gone and Pollard's going to be gone. And all these 1-year rentals we have. So, yeah, Cedric Wilson looked okay for having to step up with Gallup's injury. But, God damn, come on. This shit shouldn't happen. The only upset had to be this game. Every other game went according to plan. Maybe not to the grand scheme, but the teams that won were supposed to win. Dallas was supposed to win. And my God, they couldn't do it. I'm so sick of this shit. You get so invested in a team just to get one outed every time there's a playoff run. At this point, again, I'd rather not make the playoffs and have a better draft pick if we're going to lose in the first round. Because now we go from having a top 16 pick to we're at 2021. So thanks, Bailey. Thanks.
It's all right.
Yeah, these guys were really, they felt for me really bad when I got back.
I'm the only one that really can feel bad. They've all seen Super Bowls, like you said.
Yeah, no, I've been getting shit for 3 days straight. So, it's never going to not happen, especially if the Niners beat the Packers. If that happens, I'll never hear the end of it, especially if the Niners end up in the Super Bowl somehow. But that's my little mini version of the 4 rants I've gone on in the past week and a half week. Because again, how McCarthy still has a job, I'll never know. I don't get how you just don't promote the young stud and Kellen Moore, because he's going to leave for a head coaching job. I don't blame him. I get the hell out of Dallas too. Same with Dan Quinn. I would pack my bags and get the hell out of there, because it's literally a dumpster fire in $1 billion stadium that's built like shit. So yeah, I kept it as clean as I could, guys. I kept it as clean as I could.
That was like a Hamlet speech, my man.
It's champagne poetry. What do you want me to say, man?
This was the best game to watch all weekend.
It was a fun game to watch. I mean,
so there's the positive. Second,
the only positive.
San Fran won. I hate both these franchises, but positive, San Fran won this game. I had the 2 big surprises for me was both from Dallas's side.
Of course.
Why
not?
Because San Francisco played the game how they normally do. They run the ball hard.
They did it exactly how we expected it and game plan for
They
it.
got creative. They moved Debo around. Kittle was a no-show, had 1 catch all game. Like you said, Van Der Esch, Parsons, they did their thing.
They were
Kittle,
all over the
game.
field. Even like coverage-wise, they were all over the field. And then when big tackles needed to be made, they were making them. And then there was a damn penalty, so it didn't matter.
Parsons was going sideline to sideline. I was really impressed.
With COVID from last week, so he's kind of not in great health right now.
Yeah. He was going sideline, clutch 3rd and 2s, going to get Eli Mitchell literally all the way across the field, making coverage plays against Kittle. I agree with you. Him and Van Der Esch played a great game. And like I feel bad for those 2 guys alone. But the 2 things
they're about the only 2 I feel bad for.
The 2 things that surprised me was, number one, how conservative Dallas was. They took almost 0 shots down the field. When you have guys like Cooper, when you have guys like Lamb, even when you have guys like Cedric Wilson, who can run really quick crossing routes, 10, 20 yards down the field.
Against a very pathetic Niners defense.
Against
secondary.
Not a great set of Niners corners. I like their safeties a lot, but I don't think their corners are anything to write home about. And you couldn't take advantage of those matchups with Lamb and with Cooper. Cooper had the 1 touchdown, but that was really about it. That's the only mark he really made on this game. Lamb even had a couple drops that you're like, that were very uncharacteristic of him. He probably played his worst game.
And then even when he got big plays again, they came back as a penalty.
Yeah, they came back as penalties, 15 penalties, killed them in this game, which was my second thing, which is how unprepared they were. I was astonished at how the lack of focus from McCarthy to get this team turned around and mentally tight and like get the gears turning. It was super impressive how bad it was. How McCarthy laid out this game plan. They did, honestly, like, even though Eli Mitchell had 96 yards, he had 30 carries almost. They honestly, 3.6 isn't anything fantastic. So honestly, I think Dallas did their job on the front 7 end, and Dallas's defense really earned them even a shot at this game. Even though, you see the 23 points, but Debo only ripped off 1 big run, which granted that was right after the Dak pick, which that wasn't a great read.
And it's a touchdown.
And Debo's ball carrier vision, my goodness, that run was,
his jump cut is insane.
Yeah, it was picture perfect. McCarthy, I totally agree, outcoached on every hand of this game.
He should be out of a job.
Yeah, I agree. Moore Quinn should be the head coach next year. Now they're probably going to lose both of them. They keep McCarthy, so we'll see how that rolls into next year. Which my prediction isn't great. They'll still probably win the division and be in the same place they were this year.
Yeah, no shit. Yep. Every year. Every damn year.
Yeah, San Francisco was just so sound fundamentally in this game that you really can't take away this win from them.
No.
You can talk about the play call, Kellen Moore. You can talk about, if you really want to blame the ref not getting down the field fast enough, dude was hauling down the field to try and get that ball spotted.
Don't give the ball to your center.
But then you have the IQ. I honestly don't think the play call is a bad call. Did you see? If you saw the defense,
they were playing the sideline.
They had 3 corners at 10, 20, and 30 yards down the field, and then 2 safeties over the top with that, and 1 middle linebacker who I think blitzed on the play.
Yep. So
literally the middle of the field is literally wide open. Like when you see Dak run, it's just a sea of green, and there's 14 seconds on the clock. You have no timeouts. Those are situational things you have to know. I'm sure Dak knew going into that play. You got to get down.
It's stuff you run in practice.
You got to get down 2 seconds early. I don't blame Kellen Moore for the play call. I blame Dak and I don't blame Dak. I blame Dak for the one play to not give them a Hail Mary shot to win the game. It's like people are talking about like if he gets down, they win the game. No, if he gets down, they have another chance to win the game.
They have another shot, and that's rare.
Yeah.
Like a 35-yard Hail Mary, very rarely complete.
Um,
Granted, the weapons could do it, and the secondary was not great, so it's doable. But even in a Hail Mary, I had no faith in it.
Yeah, and it's just super tough to swallow a pill to lose a game like that. Ref got off the field as fast as he could. I don't blame him because he made the right call. I mean, he got it down there as fast as he could, tried to spot the ball. You just don't, A, you got to slide 2 seconds earlier, and B, you got to know you have to give that ball to the ref. Run it to him, give it to him, make sure he spots it, then you spike it. And honestly, you probably got 1 or 2 seconds still left on the clock. It would have been really close. Maybe the same outcome happens, but what a fantastic game from Mitchell, Debo. This whole offense really stepped up. They didn't need Kittle, but this front seven of San Francisco balled out all game long. I don't know who their DC is. Do you know who the Niners DC is?
No.
I forget after saw it. But my goodness, what a game plan he drew up. Not only
even their DC out schemed our coach.
Not only what this front seven played like, but how the secondary played, the safeties helping over the top on guys like Cooper and Lamb. And then I think just the takeaway for me was the sloppiness of Dallas, the 15 penalties. Like the hook and ladder was creative early in the second quarter because they did complete a hook and ladder later in the game. I think it was in the second quarter or late first quarter where Cedric Wilson throws it to the stands.
But you had to get a spark. You were down 10.
I understand that. And it's 3rd and 17. You're down 10. You got to get something going. And the play call, it was a first down. But then I think when you don't complete that from San Francisco's point of view, it just shows desperateness. And they smelled blood in the water and they attacked. I believe they scored on like the next drive.
Well, and then Dallas did the fake punt, and like everyone knew the fake punt was coming, and we still converted, which great call by our special teams. Our special teams looked really good this year outside of kicking and clutch moments. And then what do we do with that? 3 and out. Like we got an extra possession. That doesn't happen unless there's a turnover. And we got an extra possession and literally went 3 and out. So it literally didn't matter. It did not matter.
Yeah. Cowboys are out of the playoffs. Woo! America wins. America wins.
Yeah.
6 for 6. Jordan in the finals. I know it sucks for Logan. I got to rub it in a little bit. My team didn't make the playoffs. I got to rub it in a little bit.
Yeah, but you got a better draft pick. I'd rather have that right now.
But I don't want to keep harping on this.
No, keep going for it.
But the conservatives,
they need to hear everything.
The conservatives of this offense, they were dinking dacking all the way down the field. Like you said, no shots. When you don't stretch the field, that's why on this team, that's why Zeke has 12 for 31. Because they were loading the box all game long. And then when they didn't need to load the box, guys like Bosa and Warner were really stepping up and making tackles in clutch moments. Kinlaw played a great game. Forget who else is in that front line. But
Armstead.
Yeah, Armstead. Armstead was good. Really, it's just an all-around team victory from San Fran and an extremely heart-crushing loss and underwhelming game for Dallas fans. But America wins.
Yeah, I mean, the news is out. McCarthy's staying, but like a culture change needs to happen. Like when he was there last year, he goes in, smashes watermelons. We start winning games. Where's that energy? Like, I don't see from this team. They're undisciplined. I think it really just needs to be imploded. I think no one is safe on this team right now. If Zeke got traded, I wouldn't be upset, even though I love Zeke. If Amari got traded, I wouldn't be upset. Like something has to give. Like you can't keep running this team back and signing 1-year veterans and not winning. So it's a culture thing. Something's got to switch. And if you're not going to get rid of a coach, either Jerry needs to step down and let his son run it or whoever. I don't care. And you just got to make a move. You got to get rid of some of this cap because we're tying down so much cap to guys that are getting 31 damn yards in a playoff game when his backup's been better all year. Granted, he had a torn PCL, but then don't give it to him. Like It's just asinizing. It's annoying. It's frustrating. If any emotion you can think of, I've had it in the last 4 days because of this goddamn game. I've been upset. I've been happy that I don't have to watch another week of this shit. And then I've also been depressed because I realized this is the future of this team for the next 5 years. So what are you going to do? Not again, 19 years of this. You think I'd be used to it, but I'm not. Yeah, let's shift to another game. Let's just shift to another one. Ben Roethlisberger's funeral/retirement party happened Sunday night after that game. Again, I was very upset, so I did not watch this game. I did see TJ Watt make sick plays the first quarter.
Yeah, dude was insane.
And then Travis Kelce and Mahomes happened. Mahomes played one of his better games, probably his best game all year, and one of his better playoff games. Looked very good. Ben didn't look terrible in his last game. Najee was shut down. Kelce couldn't be stopped. No Tyreek Hill in existence. So great win by the Chiefs. Kind of what we expected.
Yeah. Mahomes had 5 touchdowns in 11 minutes of game
gameplay.
time.
That's insane.
Which is the shortest in an NFL playoff game ever.
Guess who? Stop. Guess who the next closest was. It's pretty easy, but guess. We'll give you a second.
I'll give you the time that he did it, and he did it in 25 minutes. So I think that's the more impressive feat. Yeah, if you want to guess in the comments, that'd be dope. We'll like and respond, give you some. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Yeah, let us know. But yeah, he did in 25 minutes, and Mahomes did in like what, a third of the amount of time almost.
Damn near a third of the time.
Yeah, if we're doing simple math. Yeah, KC outside the first quarter dominated this entire game. Mahomes looked like he's ready for playoffs, man. He looks so good in this game. I know the Steelers threw some great looks out in the first quarter. I was going to say, for the first quarter and a half, their defense, scheme-wise, Tolman called it. Tolman called it. They were going to throw everything at him. They had nothing to lose. Mm-hmm. Like, they really shouldn't have even been here, honestly. And they won the first quarter. Yeah. I mean, like you said, TJ Watt made 2 gigantic plays, stopped Kelce on one. And then, of course, the sack when then Cameron Hayward lays out Mahomes the fumble. No, it was the Wildcat Hardman play, and Darrell Williams fumbled on a little bit of sloppy half. That was really the only bad play I think the Chiefs really had all game.
And then Watt's pressure to get the Bush interception.
Yeah, literally those 2 things. Those were probably the 2 bad plays that they really had all game.
Because of TJ Watt. Because TJ Watt's that guy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Kelce threw a touchdown in this game. I think that says a lot. Jerick McKinnon balled out in this game.
Very good.
12 for 61 on the ground, and then 6 for 81 and a touchdown through the air. It really honestly reminded me of Minnesota Vikings, Jerick McKinnon, when Keenum was throwing him the ball, and he had to make plays. He's looking elusive again, back from 2 big injuries. It's kind of like the NFL's Klay Thompson right now, just not on that level. Yeah, the dagger was Kelce's 72-yard or 48-yard touchdown over the middle. I don't know where I got 72 from. It was a long touchdown.
Felt like 72.
Yeah, it did. That 48-yard crosser over the middle with like 30 seconds left on 3rd and 17 or whatever it was. That was the dagger. They put them up 14. They got ball at half. They scored yet again. And that was really the end of it. Congratulations to Ben for a fantastic career.
Hall of Fame career, I think.
Hands down. He should be first ballot Hall of Famer. He's top 5 in like every career passing stat. He's got 2 rings. He's made clutch throws, made big plays really his entire career. So huge career from Ben. Congrats to him on retirement. But an all-around dominant performance from KC really from halfway through the second quarter on.
And then I forgot Juju was back in this game, the TikTok battle between him and Jackson Mahomes. Yeah, I mean, again, Pittsburgh's going into next year without a quarterback really, because I know damn well they're not playing Mason Rudolph, and Dwayne Haskins doesn't want to put the effort into play. So you either make a big splash trade, you sign a Band-Aid bridge quarterback, Teddy Bridgewater, in free agency, or you draft one. And I don't hate the idea of drafting one, but this team, again, like this team doesn't win now. So you could draft a quarterback, but like,
you don't think so?
I think defensively they're a win now. Offensively, they're missing pieces. That O-line is terrible.
Yeah, they got to fix the O-line, I know, but if they go get like, it's gonna be hard to build an O-line if you don't have picks. But you go get like Deshaun Watson or something, which I think they could be
If
very
they
much.
get Deshaun, they're
I know
contender.
Deshaun wants to play with Flores and they're trying to team up somewhere. I don't
Scheme.
know why you wouldn't want to play with Tomlin. Like that's a culture.
The man
that he's
hasn't had a
built.
losing season in 15 years.
Never had a losing season. He has identified a culture that has held Pittsburgh contenders
Unlike
for
Dallas.
the last 15 years.
Unlike Dallas, a culture.
And, I mean, that's just something that you want to be a part of. I know it's Pittsburgh and you'd rather play in like New York or something.
Or Miami or
But you've played for the Texans. You got to go win some football games. I know he's been in the playoffs a couple times, but that culture has been destroyed. You got to leave that and go win some flipping football games in a culture that's already been established with the defense that you know is great. You have weapons, and the offensive line isn't as big of a problem with his ability to improvise and play make. So I think it'd be a fantastic fit. But yeah, I mean, it was a rough game for the Steelers. It was rough to watch. I stopped watching like halfway through the second once it was like 35-7. But yeah, Mahomes played perfect, but shout out to Ben for a great career.
Yeah, again, didn't watch because I was still pretty fuming. I will say, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That game started. You want to know what I was waiting for? You want to know what I was waiting for? McCarthy's goddamn press conference. It took forever. The one time I want to watch a press conference, and it took 45 minutes. Like, I don't want to hear from Zeke. I don't want to hear that he had a torn PCL and only had 31 yards. I want to hear from the clown who screwed my playoffs. I really do. Next game.
Yeah. LA, Arizona. What a game this was.
It was drawn up to be that way.
Yeah.
I think this was on paper the best matchup going into the weekend. We were both kind of like,
I thought Cowboys Niners was, but
I didn't think that at the time.
But yeah. NFC West rivalry.
Game 3.
The Rams were coming in looking a little shaky. Stafford wasn't playing great. Neither was Kyler though. But the all-around better team and better coaching staff won this game. The Rams taking home 34-11. Stafford didn't have to do jack this entire game.
The offense didn't have to do anything in this
because LA's defense played so well in this game. It was unbelievable. I think halfway through the second quarter, the Cardinals had like negative 10 yards.
No, start the second quarter.
Yeah.
Start the second quarter, they had negative 10 yards.
And then they get a sack. So it was at one point like negative 17. LA boxed everything. Von Miller was dominant. Donald was dominant. Jalen Ramsey, dominant. Eric Weddle in his first game back in 750 days played almost perfect football. They had one little miscommunication. They're going to work those out. He's been in that system before. He knows what he's doing. He's an all-pro vet. Like, he's going to get turned around. They have basically an all-pro free safety coming out of retirement, a legend Hall of Famer coming out of retirement to play free safety for them for literally 3 games.
At like the right time.
Yeah, at the perfect time. And what a game plan for McVay and his defensive coordinator, which isn't Vance Joseph. That's the Arizona defensive coordinator. Can't remember off the top of my head. It's a new guy though.
Blanking. I'm blanking.
But yeah, what a game plan they drew up, and that offense didn't have to do anything. I'm gonna have to look it up. It's driving me nuts.
He's a former coach.
Yeah, and Cam Akers looked electric.
Dude, I don't know how this dude does it coming off a torn ACL.
I know 3.2 yards to carry, but he got a decent workload. He led the team in carries. And in that first half, where they were really starting to pull away, especially in that second quarter, McVay established early that they were going to run the ball. I think at one point it was like 11 rushing attempts to 4 passing attempts. The Stafford and Odell threw a 40-yard pass.
Odell's not the problem clearly in Cleveland, and he's just going on a tear right now. He's the missing link that was needed the second Robert Woods went down.
Yeah.
Because imagine if it was Kupp, Robert Woods, him, Van Jefferson, this offense would be unstoppable. Like, yeah, it's insane.
Like, once where I was going with that. But yeah, the team had 38 carries to 18 passing attempts the whole game.
That's how you win games if you're the Rams.
Exactly. You don't have Stafford do too much, because once he starts to do too much, that's when the game gets out of hand for them. With the way they dominated here against Arizona, I am begrudgingly scared for Tampa going into the next game, because I know it's hard to beat Tom Brady twice. I know it's hard to beat the team twice, period. But LA looks
they're getting hot at the right moment.
Ridiculous. offensively, especially if they can get a run game going, which I've been saying for the past 8 weeks is the key for this offense to win football games because their defense is legit. They know how to play, especially in that front seven, and the secondary really ain't even that bad either. So all around dominant performance for LA. I really don't have much to say about Arizona. Kingsbury got embarrassed this game. I think that's the one thing I can say about Arizona. I think, and you can argue McCarthy had the worst coaching performance. I think it was Kingsbury personally.
No.
But like negative 10 yards of offense at the second quarter is stupid bad.
You're also playing
when you are an air raid offensive styled head coach.
That DeAndre Hopkins.
I don't care. You have Kyler Murray. You have weapons. AJ Green, who had a great year this year. You have Christian Kirk. You have Zach Ertz, who didn't get it like a single look in the entire first half. You have Chase Edmonds, who's a receiving back. You have James Conner, who is a power back. Every single one of them got obliterated in this game. Absolutely obliterated. And I think Kingsbury had the worst coaching performance. I know you could talk about how unprepared Dallas was in their game, but the Cardinals came out and they got punched in the face through the first 3 quarters of this game. And it was embarrassing to watch. Brought my dad home some money. That was cool. But yeah, Kyler just was lost out there because no one was getting open.
Because he couldn't see.
You couldn't see and no one was getting open. So when you have no one getting open, you're sitting there running in circles while Aaron Donald is coming.
And Von Miller.
Like, that's not a great game plan.
Yeah.
So yeah, they got crushed in this game. That's my Arizona rant. I didn't rant for Arizona. I didn't even know I had.
There you go. I mean, not as good as the Dallas.
No.
But, so yeah, Raheem Morris, DC for the Rams.
That's right, Raheem Morris.
I think his game plan for this might get him a head coaching job. Like,
he's getting
it
looks.
was that he interviewed with Minnesota yesterday. So
Everyone's interviewing.
because if I'm being honest, that's
Not a bad job.
That might be the best job available right now. But yeah, it's again typical Rams game. What you needed, yeah, you need the run game to really put this game away. But again, the defense just showed up. Literally, jokes right itself. Kyler Murray throws the shortest pick 6 of all time. Because he's short. Yeah, it was just a pure dominant performance. I think we all went in kind of hoping for a really close game and never looked like that. Never.
No.
Like, again, like you look at the Rams offense, it's nothing special. They didn't score a ton, but that defense put them in prime position
It's the best
to get field goals and got them touchdowns. Like,
yeah.
You literally cannot, if they play like this against the Bucs and then
Watch out.
and then play whoever, they could be in the Super Bowl. I think that defense can carry Matt Stafford to a Super Bowl right now. Because then even like we talk bad on Stafford, but when he has to throw the ball,
He looked good.
he
He did
looks
look good.
pretty good. Like outside the Niners game and down the stretch, I mean, we were talking earlier in the year, an MVP candidate. Like,
And
it's still
the
there.
fade route to
it's
Beckham.
it's still there.
The fade route to Beckham looked really nice. Adding on a little bit more, I think this is the best defensive showing we've seen all year.
Oh yeah,
From this
Has to
LA
be.
team.
it has to be because it was in the most important moment in a game that a lot of people were taking the underdog, and they just smacked him in the mouth. They came out early, smacked him in the mouth, and made this ever-changing offense, this, the new thing, the new fancy toy, look like a beat-up Volkswagen Beetle. Like,
It
it
looked
was
like Kingsbury needed to
terrible.
go back to college.
This is what happens when you hire college coaches. That's all I'm going to say, because you can have a young coach that has NFL experience. I will take that any day of the week over an experienced college coach or a young college coach.
Unless
It
it's
does not
Saban.
matter. Like,
Unless it's Saban. If you need someone, he's not leaving Bama ever.
Yeah.
So if you can hire Saban, then you'd hire Saban.
but like, it's just, it really shows the preparation that LA put in, because
McVay drew a McVay and
genius,
Forrest.
literal geniuses.
Yeah.
Morris might just wind up being a head coach purely off this game, because like he wasn't getting a ton of looks, and then this happened.
Yeah.
Like, he shut down one of the most explosive offenses in the NFL, hands down. It just
The team that people are picking for Super Bowls come week 10. And Arizona really just did the same thing they did last year.
Collapse
which
in the clutch.
was go on a super hot streak at to start the year. Even this year was even longer than last year. He won like 10, 11 games. Where they were like 10-1 at some point or something like that, 9-2.
After JJ Watt made the video, like, I mean, we're just better. We're just better. They're 3-7 since then. And he got hurt the next game. But he was back this game. He made a couple tackles, but again.
He looked healthy, I think.
Healthy enough.
After blowing your entire shoulder out. Honestly, he made an impact in the first quarter with a couple big tackle TFLs early. Set LA back a couple
few yards.
down. Yeah, a few yards and a couple downs. But dominant showing from LA. Yeah, that it?
I think so. Again, I'm looking at that Bucks Rams matchup. What sucks for the Rams, they have to play this stupid Monday game for the wild card, and then they have to turn around. They're the first game on Sunday. They're the morning game on Sunday.
Okay.
So that's a little bit, you can say whatever you want.
One less day's rest. I don't understand the Monday night game either.
I mean, we can talk about look, I get why they did it, but again, as a player,
Play 3 games each day.
Yeah, just play 3 each day. I would rather watch 3 for 2 days rather than 2, 3, and then 1.
Then there's no excuses for equal rest. They've always done if I'm not mistaken, they play the AFC on Saturday and the NFC on Sunday.
No, they mixed them in.
Or they alternate, but whatever games you play,
that's what you end up playing later.
That's what you end up
if
playing
you played
later
this, if you played the Saturday, you would play the next Saturday.
Yes, exactly. And if you play a Sunday, you play the next Sunday. And
I don't remember just throws a wrench into
for the Rams to get unhealthy, or not unhealthy, but different or unfair amounts of rest comparatively to Tampa, comparatively to teams that played on Saturday, is BS in my opinion. There's no need for a Monday night game, especially if you're going to televise that.
Yeah.
The Manning cast is cool.
Very fun. The Rock with his $30 million T-Rex skull was
I don't
pleasant surprise. But I mean, you could argue like that gives them another day to game plan, which could have been the difference, but not that big of a difference. But yeah, I hate the Monday night idea. I hope they get rid of it next year. I hope they
should.
I hope they just get Eli and Peyton on a game somewhere, because that was entertaining. It was fun to watch. But other than that, like, no need for a Monday game, because now if the Rams go out there and get throttled, they're never going to do it again. But then if the Rams go out and win, they're going to be like, oh,
2 Monday games.
Let's do them all on Monday. And then we'll go back to Saturday, Sunday. So then, yeah, like that's just how Roger Goodell works at this point. But
yeah,
fun week of games.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I went off on the Cowboys, but if I'm being honest, I mean, I couldn't not pick them. I was worried. I told Bailey I was worried. You can put your 6-0. I don't care.
What's the Jordan photo? I forget what he does in that photo, or he slides
Doesn't
up
matter.
like that.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But, yeah, fun weekend of football. I think we're in store for another great weekend of football. You look at these matchups: Titans, Bengals, Chiefs, Bills in a rematch. I cannot wait for that. Watch Diggs to have a big game.
Even Packers Niners, like we get to see the growth of LaFleur, I think, in this game. I think it's really going to determine if LaFleur doesn't win this game. I think he might be gone, honestly, even though he leads the team to 13-3 seasons every year.
If he loses Rodgers.
I mean, if he loses Rodgers, he's got to develop Jordan Love. Got to go through all that crap. But yeah. Great matchups coming up. That's going to do it for this episode. As for Everything Hurdle Podcast, subscribe, like, comment, tell us if you know who the other guy was, and use the code Hurdle Podcast, spelled out fully, HURDLE podcast, down below for $20 off your first order. If you're lucky, you get to go to a divisional round game for the NFL.
I'm tempted to go to the frozen tundra in Green Bay.
But yeah, so go use that. As for our Instagram, at Hurdle Podcast, HRDL Podcast, for the Instagram, go give us a follow over there. We post every time an episode drops. So there'll be a post that correlates when this video drops. Super simple. You'll like the post, you go watch the video
or listen to it.
If you're looking for us on Spotify, either Hurdle Sports or Hurdle Podcast in the search bar, go down to podcasts. Mine, Logan's name is on it. It's super easy to find. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode. Great week of football. Super excited.
Back in person, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks for watching, everyone. That's Logan. I'm Bailey. We're out. Peace.
Peace, guys. Now we try to turn it off. This is the fun part. I hope you get to watch this.
No, I'm editing this out.
No, just keep it. They gotta see the raw uncut version. I mean, we're college students. So you still have the